So your exams are soon and you sit with your books to study, but you open them and start feeling sleepy, so instead of studying you open your phone and scroll on TikTok for hours. Then you remember you had to study, but it's too late and now you're sleepy, so you end up sleeping and putting it off for the next day. Do you also have this problem that whenever you sit to study you just can't focus? Like you could be so motivated but it's hard to concentrate for a long time? Well, I've got you covered. So my first tip is to remove distractions. Right now, I'm not talking about physical distractions but your distracting thoughts. If you feel like procrastinating, write down those thoughts and get them off your head. If you feel like scrolling on TikTok, write that down but don't act on it. Promise yourself you'll do it after you study. And if your mind is always racing and it just never seems to shut up, you can search brown noise on YouTube and listen to it while studying. It can help you focus. I'll link some in the description. If you're just starting out with studies and have concentration issues, then don't expect to focus for hours in the beginning, you'll only overwhelm yourself. My second tip is to track for how long you can focus. Set a timer before starting your work, and when you start losing focus, stop the timer. So let's say it's 10 minutes, so now start studying for 10 minutes and then take a break and then study again for 10 minutes. Gradually increase those study sessions, like after a week, to 15 minutes instead of 10 minutes until you train yourself to focus for longer periods. Once you're used to that, you can do one task first and then a break and then second task and then break. In that break, don't scroll on TikTok because your brain will be fried and you won't be able to concentrate after that, so you should do something else like eat a snack or walk for a few minutes. Just getting up from your study space can also help because you can find it harder to focus if you keep sitting at the same place all day. Third tip is so study at a separate place. Make sure you have a separate study space so your brain can shift to work mode easily. You don't want to study where you sleep or do other stuff, otherwise you'll be distracted or sleepy. Tip 4 is to take naps. If you're sleepy, then go and take a nap. You can study after waking up, but make sure you're getting proper sleep so you can focus properly. Stop relying on coffee. It'll harm you in the long run. Next tip is to keep your room clean. Make sure your study space is clean without any distractions. You've seen those aesthetic study spaces, but if your study space is pretty to look at, you'll spend your time staring at that instead of studying. So instead, put your decor items aside and make sure your desk has minimal amount of items. If your room isn't clean, your first priority should be to clean and organize it, because if your room is disorganized, then your mind will be too, and then you won't be able to focus in that environment. Tip 6 is to eat whole foods. Eat filling foods. Some foods like sugary foods make you feel sluggish and lazy, and you'll find harder to concentrate and study, so eat whole foods for good health and better grades. If you have concentration issues, there is a chance that you have ADHD, and certain foods make it harder for you to function, so eat healthy foods and get yourself diagnosed if you have symptoms. Tip 7 is to have a routine. Build a routine. You should have a particular routine so that your brain can easily switch to study mode and rest mode at the right time. Routines can help you study more efficiently. If you're gonna disrupt your routine, then your brain will have a hard time focusing and you'll struggle more with your studies. Tip 8 is to set goals. Write down your goals. Make sure those goals are realistic so you don't build to high expectations and end up getting disappointed. Your expectations should align with your abilities. Set small goals so they are easier to achieve and don't overwhelm you, and also reward yourself when you achieve those goals. Write down your progress so it's easier to track and so you can remind yourself of how far you have come in times of failure. If you are doubting yourself, remember your past achievements. Remember all the times you made it even when you thought you couldn't. Remember one thing: you are too busy doubting yourself while others are scared of your potential. Tip 9 is to record yourself. If you struggle to put your phone away while studying, then you should record a time-lapse of yourself during your study session. In this way, you won't use your phone because it's recording, and then you get to look at your time-lapse, which will motivate you to study further. Watch my other study tips video to become a topper this year. Linked in description. Hope you all get good grades this year. Subscribe if this video was helpful. Thank you for watching.